American Morning, the most news in the morning, period. Weekdays 6 Eastern.
The case has made international headlines. A father's desperate quest to get his son back. It's been exactly 5 years since David Goldman's wife took their then 4-year-old son to Brazil and never came back. 5 years without his child. Now, since then, he's been fighting to be reunited with his little boy, Sean, and just when he thought it was over, another setback. He joins us now to talk more about his case. David, thanks for being with us. So today you're marking really an unwelcome anniversary. It's been 5 years since you had your son, Sean, with you. It looked like things were turning in your favor, that the High Court ruled they're going to honor the Hague Convention. Most of those in the court said your son should come back to you. So what's the delay right now?
Well, what was filed in front of the Supreme Court was, in fact, if the Brazilian judicial system was going to honor the Hague Convention, if the government was going to still be a party to the Hague Convention, where they received children back under the Hague from America as well. And they decided, yes, we are going to honor the Hague Convention. We will return children. This particular case, a couple of them pointed out that Sean has been here way too long and this needs to be resolved. And then they punted it back to the second-level federal court, where there was a stay because of an appeal from this Linza Silva guy to keep my son there. Hopefully, with the Supreme Court ruling, with the 82-page report from the first-level federal judge ordering my son to be returned home immediately,
right,
as well as Brazilian court-appointed mental health experts evaluating my son, saying he's been under psychological trauma, emotionally damaged from this family in Brazil, pointing he needs to be home, and other...
They also even called it parental alienation, saying that his stepfather, that's who he's staying with right now, correct?
Well, he lives with actually lives with Bruna's parents.
Okay, so, and that's an odd situation in itself. Just take us back to what happened. You were married, you were happily married, at least you thought. Your wife goes away for a couple of weeks.
I drove her to the airport with my son and her parents for a vacation. I love hugs and kisses, with my blessings to have a safe trip. And actually, I was going to go down and visit with them the end of the trip and fly back to help Sean, with Sean, bringing him home.
And what happened?
I get a phone call when it was actually on Father's Day, 2 days after they arrived. David, we have to talk. You're a wonderful guy. You're the best father I could ever imagine for my child. But if you ever want to see him again, you need to come to Brazil, meet with my attorney, sign 10 pages of legal papers, giving me full custody, never pressing criminal charges, and a bunch of other demands. Another one was falling to the courts here that we will be separated.
But you had no inkling that there was any trouble in the marriage?
I had no clue. I had no clue.
Do you know what happened?
She said that she decided she's Brazilian and wants to stay in Brazil, where she is known.
And subsequently, sadly, she passed away in childbirth, right? And now, since then, your son, Sean, has been living with her new husband.
Yes, well, we are still married in America. America doesn't recognize this marriage to this guy. She married him in Brazil for 10 months before she passed away. And now... this man is trying to say that he's got more claim of custody over my own child. He's got no blood relation to my son. And yet, the court in Brazil, the state court, he filed some motion trying to remove my name from my son's birth certificate, to totally erase me and my parents, my son's whole paternal lineage from his life, and replace it with his own. I
know that you've been to Brazil. Your congressman actually accompanied you there in helping with this effort. And it's been a very difficult situation because, I mean, you've been away from your own son for so long now. How does he react to you, and what are your concerns that even if you do get him back, what the psychological damage of this whole tug of war will be on him?
My concerns are what is being done to him right now. And those are things that I can't control. And again, as evidence from the evaluations that he's being under a lot of, he's being psychologically and emotionally damaged by them. And Brazil, where he is now, is not a healthy environment. They have to look at the boy. They have to look at the child, not their own selfish or whatever reasons. But he is a child, he's a human, and he's my son. I'm not worried about when we're home. I know I will take care of him as I always had before he was abducted. Remember, he lived over 4 years with me, and he was fine. And he would call when I was able to speak with him, crying to come home to his father, crying he wants to come home, he wants to see his friends, he wants to see his grandma and grandpa. they try to erase all that themselves in front of the media, like he never had a life here, which he did, and he still does, waiting. And it's not about the 5 years that we missed, but he's only 9. He's got his whole life ahead. Right. And there is bonding and healing. And the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children actually has a program, a 4-day program for parents who are reunited with their abducted children to help them reconnect and rebond.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in this situation. I know it's been a tough road for you, and the courts still have to rule, but hopefully within weeks you may be reunited. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. I hope so.